What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Call to Action Live, episode number 76. And today has been, this week has been pretty insane with all the news and stuff that's happening. We have an incredible match to recap and then some stuff we want to talk about because we've got opinions. And joining me today, to my right, I have the amazing, lovely, real Alex Mack. Mack, how are you doing?
Hi, man. So much stuff has happened. It's kind of overwhelming, honestly. I'm excited to kind of dive into it with you guys.
Yep, it's going to be awesome. And then down below, we have the amazing PLD, the greatest of all time. How are you doing, PLD?
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, Kelsey. This has been such a weird week. We've gone from like drip, 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 boom, avalanche.
Yeah. So much news. It's been crazy. All right, well, starting out this episode, we can talk a little bit about the match. It was a pretty great match. I had fun watching it. I had emotional reaction watching it as well. So what'd you guys think? Going into it, you have Zipper, you have Stacy. What were your expectations?
Paul, what did you think?
Well, I knew going in, I kind of was excited about it because to me, it was these two individuals who always seem to have trouble breaking through. They have some great potential matches. They have some upsets, but then something always happens. They don't quite break onto the other side, so they have to face each other. One of them's got to win, so it's kind of a good thing. But then I didn't see it for a bit, and I just kept hearing from Christian, "This is match of the year," and I was like, I had a hard time understanding how it would be because the stakes were not high or whatever. But then you watch it. That was really pretty sweet. It was a pretty fun match, entertaining match. Had some nice little drama, not real drama, challenge that worked. But some great quotes at the end of the day. It was a great match. I loved it quite a bit.
Yeah. I loved how it was really surprising to me that going into it, Zipper and Kaiser, just being part of the dungeon, they were like, this guy's the next Dan Murrell. And he's like, I can totally be Dan Murrell. I just need a plaid shirt, button up. I just need a ball cut. I'm totally Dan Murrell. Just give me 3 months. And I'm like, dude, that's bold claims. And I respect that ambition, but let's inch our way up a little bit. I remember last season, I believe it was last season, it was one of the first times that he actually played in singles, and he won. He won his first match, and he was technically going into this, I think, 1-0. I could be wrong. Please correct me if that's the case. But going into it, but also Stacey Howard, she's literally beaten champions. She's beaten Ellis. She's beaten Riley. She's somehow able to really kind of take on a lot of these champions and really succeed amazingly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It was a wonderful match. Oh my gosh. Emotional.
So emotional. Going into it, I didn't know who to root for because I know Zipper and I love Zipper. Zipper's one of my favorite people. He is so nice, so smart. I've actually not met Stacy yet, but I've always been a huge fan of hers. She's actually one of my daughter's favorite competitors, so I always have that wanting to root for her as well. So going into this, I didn't know who I wanted to root for. So I kind of just didn't root for anybody. I'm just like, whatever happens, happens. And oh my gosh, like you said, the emotions up and down, cheering and feeling sad and being happy again and being shocked. And it was just a roller coaster. So I still like Bateman versus Murrell more for match of the year, but this is up there for sure because I had so much fun watching it.
At the end of the day, the Bateman Murrell match is, the argument is being made because it was literally for a belt, but also they went into overtime and they're both champions. So you can't argue it's definitely in their favor as far as the conversation goes. But considering people didn't really have any expectations going into this. They were like, they're two competitors with the here and there history. So that's going to be a good matchup. But holy shit.
Right. And the way the points went the entire match too was very back and forth. End of round 1, there was 5 Stacy, Zipper 7. So Zipper was in the lead. Yeah. And it's like, okay, Zipper's going for a strong start. And then that wheel round happened. And that was a crazy wheel round. Stacy spinning opponents and being given Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which for me would just be that would be the end. I'd be done. Even though I like those movies, I don't necessarily remember them. Details.
Yeah, it's just how she was able to do it. And she was like, you can tell. I don't know if she's pulling a Bateman where she's faking it.
That was
where she's just
See, that was my question with you guys.
Whatever it may be. Or if she's like really combing her brain for it. Because it happens so often. So
that was my question for you guys. Is that character work where the guessing isn't necessarily as much guessing as we are led on? Or is it strictly she's just got a superpower? Like, which is it?
I heard that Jen Sturger was just on the Action Guys, and she was mentioning that like that's kind of what she does. She has a weird system where she can be beautiful minded, just kind of like she has it all in there, but sometimes it's a hard time getting to it. But then there's times where she has these context clues. She's great at taking those context clues we have and working it out to getting I get it. That's why she got the Anthony Hopkins answer. That she really kind of guessed her way through to a degree. It's all about context. She took it was an older actor, sort of thing, and she made it there and had the right answer. That's what she does. And when she works it, and she can be a world beater. But sometimes it's not exactly always the strategy. You can't like bank on that happening every time. So you're gonna miss it out on it sometimes. And that's why she ends up being a little consistent at times.
For sure, but it's definitely a skill she has, and it's impressive. Zipper's banter about that the entire time was absolutely hilarious. I only know what I know, but she knows what she doesn't know.
Be able to like pull it out. I do think it's interesting, but Leo Logan's kind of mentioned period costume drama is the new wheel slice. That is not true. She's been Stacey Howard has been very vocal about that's a major strength of hers, and that has been a wheel slice in the past for her. She pretty consistently for a long time, and starting when she started as singles, that was a slice that she would consistently put on the wheel because almost no one, as far as I know, can consider that a strength except her. So even if if it was spun, that would definitely be amazing. But yeah, it came down to the last question and Anthony Hopkins.
That's great.
We're just like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, and end of round 2, Zipper did spin new releases and took it with the first thing, and he ended up with her getting a steal and him answering most of his questions. Ended up 12-13. Again, they are neck and neck. It was so close this entire time, and then that third round it was that 5-point question for Zipper, which I have never even heard of that movie. Like, I've never heard of it. It was Moscow on the Hudson.
Yep.
Yeah, I have never heard of that movie before. And so
older, I've heard of it, but I didn't really. I as an '80s kid, didn't really know it very well. I kind of heard it vaguely, so it was not an easy pull, definitely.
It definitely wasn't. Stacey did amazing. Zipper did amazing. I think he just luck of the draw. Just didn't get a question that landed for him, which apparently didn't land for me either. So
releases, not movie release. That's true.
Oh, I wrote wrong. Anyways, I knew what I meant. What I meant. You guys didn't.
Yeah.
that could possibly be.
That could be true.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. But again, she is able to kind of really pull these out of nowhere. But Kaiser's here. Kudos to Roxy going into this. You can tell like in the first round, she's like, I can't hear the match. I need to hear it, get a repeat or something. I literally couldn't do it. And absolutely. Roxy, she's like, no, challenge. She legitimately didn't. And not to mention, in that studio, it's this very small space and it can get loud, I imagine, pretty quickly.
Sounds like it can in there. Yeah.
It can be. Especially you can hear like very specific laughs. I feel like I can hear a Bid's laugh a mile away.
RB3 laugh.
It's a very specific laugh. But so I was very not so much surprised, but I was like, you know what, Roxy, lay it down. So, definitely kudos to her as a manager. But oh my gosh, Zipper really showed he came to play.
Yeah.
This season. I'm so excited not only to see him, I would really love to see him more in singles, but especially in teams. So
it's true. I was going to say that when we're talking about how you can kind of hear things in the background of the matches, you could hear Roxy not only managing her, but cheering her on, like being super supportive. You could hear that in the background. And I love that. And you can see Kaiser coming up and talking to her. Like, I love the manager's involvement, especially this season. It's been so fun to watch.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And then, we ended with 22-18. Super close, super great match. Can't wait to see Zipper again in singles. Zipper is such a strong competitor.
Yeah.
This match didn't show it did show his skill, but him, coming off the loss, he could have won it easily.
I just feel so bad for the guy. I feel so bad because he wants it. Like, he starts crying. It's like, I want to give the guy a hug.
I do too.
It's okay, man. Just go sit down. Let's go have a beer. We'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Oh yeah, it was definitely got to buy Zipper a beer.
Poets are just so amazing. Going into this, I remember telling when Lucas and I reacted, we were like, we don't want either one of them to win.
Right.
I actively don't. I want Stacy to win because I want her in more matches. I feel like I think the whole conversation about underrated is not the case anymore because I feel like she is pretty appropriately rated at this point. It's like a solid competitor. People do kind of sleep on, but I mean, this really kind of speaks for herself. She did amazingly well this time around, but Zipper did really fantastic. So he's definitely doing something different, trying something new to kind of amp up his strategy.
Guys, I think I should put you on that investigation. You should take care of that. I think you get
there
down.
There you go.
You make it out. So.
Also, with that being said, in the interview at the very end with the dungeon, we had the announcement of a potential new team between Zipper and Adam Witt.
Yes, yeah, that could be.
I think that
could be
was
a fun team. I'm excited
because they're both similarly. Like they're both similarly played. Like they haven't quite made it to the next level, but like Adam Witt, when he was with Paul Preston, showed a lot of potential. The more the movie guys played, the more he was really shining. He never got a chance to really take it to the next level. Played that Star Wars match, he showed another side to him. So if you get Zipper together, who showed strengths throughout the league, and you have Witt together, it could be something that could take them to the next level.
Absolutely. I think their gameplay is going to be awesome. They're both very knowledgeable players that they just haven't, they haven't really worked out necessarily per se recently in their more singles career, stuff like that. But together they could be unstoppable. And I feel like their personalities are going to be fantastic together. They're going to be a fun team.
I do feel like they're going to be, I do think they're going to be really great together. I am kind of curious about their chemistry on screen because obviously they get along. Obviously they're cool with each other. But the thing is, I wonder how their strengths and weaknesses correspond because I feel like they're almost similar competitors. I mean, Adam Witt's he's in Star Wars, so maybe he's a little more focused on IG, but same for Zipper. He's competing in IG this season as well. I don't know to what extent, but he is also involved. So I'm kind of curious how their strengths and weaknesses would correspond. Is one of them great at dramas or 70s and 80s? Rom-coms? I mean, that's what I want to know.
Well, Zipper is in the tournament. He's definitely playing IG there. I'm going to assume Witt's going to be their Star Wars player.
Yes.
It'll be interesting for that. I just want to point out, Leo, yes, I did. It was teased the draft, but also kind of went away for a little bit. We didn't talk about it until now. So it was teased again, we'll say, to clarify.
Brought it up again. Yes.
Exactly. So at the end of the day now, what happened? I guess it's hard to say what happens now because it's so back in the day we used to do a match okay, who does Stacy play next and who does Zipper play next? But with everything, the whole thing went down. It's kind of like we don't know anything is going on still. Kind of feel like when we bring it back to the studio, it's almost like it'd be back to zero almost in a way. It just seems like it was pointless until we figure out who's going back, who's going to be where. That's when we have to figure out what they're playing next. So
what I would love to see happen from this. You know what? Tell me. I was like, I want to know the specific slices, my man. I do. That's what I want to hear. I would love to see. I would really, really love to see Stacy go up against Riley.
Yeah, again.
Yes.
I would have that match again. I feel like they're pretty good right now. But also I would love to see Zipper go against Janine. If that's, she's, I don't know if she's going to, because she's in IG, if she's going to focus more on IG rather than singles, So, because teams, singles, and IG, that's a lot. Right. Just Dan Merle has mentioned in his thing, he's not going to be in the IG league.
Right. Tournament.
Tournament. Sorry, you're right. In the IG tournament. I stand corrected.
You never know. I do want to point out, Jake does say, Kaz, you don't have to censor words here. It's true, but give the guy a break. He's trying to learn not to swear and throw down in general. So I think he's got to practicing here.
Got to practice. We support you.
I'll say it. They don't shit, so I'm allowed to. But Zip. Yeah, absolutely. That's what the match Christian wants to see. So I'm asking Square Garden.
Well, what is MSG? What does that mean?
Madison Square Garden.
Oh, when I saw that, I initially just thought of salt. And I was like, no, salt. What is that? Is that a reference to something? I just don't know it. I don't know. That was my first thought.
For you.
Oh,
Not your fault. We'll get to this together.
in the words of Robin Williams, it's not your fault. It's not
Exactly. Or yeah, that is true. So,
All right.
well, is that anything else about the match, or should we move on to all the other fun stuff? That
I feel like we're good to move on. We have a lot to talk about this episode. So really quick, we could do a little speculation about this upcoming week's match. Let me see. Who is it's the Pride versus Real Rejects, correct?
Pride versus Real Rejects. I'm sorry, yes, the Pride versus with them. I've been looking forward to that match for a while because I think that the Real Rejects kind of proved that they took a step forward last time. They had a high-scoring match. John Humphrey and Greg Alba definitely know their stuff. They never got a chance to prove it. They were always kind of thrown as this like wild berries-like team, but then they made some great stands. On the other side, you have Goddard.
What's their record?
It's not good. It's like I think it's like 2-6, but it's like 2-2 over the past. Like they lost a lot at first. But
Yeah, it considering they are the longest continually working team, you know, and that's like over like 5 seasons or something. So I don't feel like that record really kind of corresponds to their knowledge.
Yeah, so. 2-5. They're 2-5, but they beat the Cuckoo's Mess by TKO. They beat Drew Grant and Rick Hahn by TKO last time. So I mean, they're definitely. And then now it's after they said they were going to study. I believe that's what they said at some point. So it seems like they turned to the next level. Maybe they're a different team than they were before. So I like to see it. I'm excited. So.
I am excited too. I think they're both very strong teams. I'm interested to see also like just their dynamic together, the two teams against each other. And I'm really interested to see the Pride again because, I mean, the last time the Pride played was pretty. We still talk about it to this day and quote it. I want to see what happens.
Although it's fun, the one bad about it was filmed before
that.
The film before the whole heel thing went down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see any fallout from that, so to speak. But interesting to see how they work together at this point.
Who knows? Maybe there's another moment that's just as good as we're heels that we don't know about yet.
Could be.
I'm not gonna lie. I do love Real Rejects. I obviously they've improved tremendously, but I'm sorry guys, but this is a whole different playing field than they're used to. And don't get me wrong, they've played tremendously. Their record does not reflect their knowledge. They're really great competitors. They have high scoring matches in the past that they've lost, but still it's just I think I am kind of curious to see that if it once they go up against teams that are of a higher caliber, then how that pressure is going to be. Because obviously, if they're going up against a Pride that do actively are very vocal about how much they take it seriously, and the thing is, we just don't know that. We just don't have that knowledge for the Real Rejects.
Well, it's true, but then again, the Pride is not exactly. I mean, I love Rachel Silvestrani, and God has proven himself quite a bit so far, but they're not exactly a world beater team yet either. Because they've only had the one match. They have a lot, and that was and this again was filmed a long time ago, so they've probably gotten a lot better now. Were they then? Were they quite locked in yet? I don't know. I mean, I can go either way. I know Rachel's working her ass off, so I know that, and Goddard's been showing himself pretty well. So it'd be interesting to see on both sides. I could see either side winning. I could see either side being close. I could see it being like a TKO. Like anything could happen. I wouldn't be shocked by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They also, I'm not gonna lie though, Cuckoo's Mess is not a great team. I mean, they're an okay team, but they're not a great team. They have a lot of work to do in order to kind of get to the higher level. I mean, like neither one, like Drew, when she's good, she's great. Rick Hahn,
I don't know.
He has a lot of improving to do. That's all.
I don't know if he can.
He's also a rookie, so
it was his first match. I'm not sure. I'm
yeah,
not ready to write him off yet, but
I wonder if he focuses it felt like he almost focused too much on character rather than the knowledge.
Right. That's true.
But whole other conversation.
Because more quiet. Yeah, Brandy, of course, is going to be here for the Pride. We know that because she's definitely got her job. Kaiser wants to do we take the training wheels off the Pride bike yet? I don't know. I still think they got the big wheels at this point. I think they need the big wheels. So.
I haven't graduated to the bigger bike yet, so.
That's the last match taped for a long time, so that's why we're getting the tourneys now. So
that's true. If you guys, if you're watching this, if you have any predictions on who's going to win or any big things you're excited to see, please let us know, and in a Streamlab or Super Chat or something like that, and we'll definitely we can dive into a little bit further though.
That's true. We do have streamlabs.com. It's streamlabs.com/call-to-action-pod.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
Call to Action Podcast /chat.
Podcast.
We have a link into the description and right here.
There you go. There you go. Ryan Kramer says that Goddard mentioned that the line where heels got edited out of the final match, so only patrons in the studio actually heard it. The rest are just quoting Christian. Okay.
Oh,
Interesting. All right.
very interesting.
Okay.
All right. Any final thoughts on that match? Or are we ready to talk about all the news that's been dropping the last few days?
I'm ready.
All right. I am ready to talk about the news. And Paul, I believe you have a beautiful document that breaks down everything that's been going on. So I'm going to kind of let you lead this conversation because I can't keep up with that.
Yeah, it's not exactly beautiful. It's a lot of gobbledygook in one page, but it is all the information there. That's what it is. First off, the first trade was that Kate Mulligan traded Brandon Hanna to Robert Meyer Burnett for James White. And now here's the thing. First of all, Robert Meyer Burnett is just trading everybody for everybody, it seems. But my question here is, Christian put out this list, partial list of who was going to be in the IG tournament. And the biggest the biggest news from that appeared to be that Brandon Hanna was not going to be on the Den's IG list. And that seemed like a ridiculous thing to me because Brandon Hanna, despite having his 2 losses against Chandra, first of all, his 2 losses against Chandra were against the #1 contender, and he still has an 80% accuracy. And a tournament setting, you got to go for points. But so you're going to put Saul and Ben Goddard in an IG?
Or unproven. You know what I mean?
That's I don't want to say shifty, but what?
Right? It makes sense to me. Now, supposedly Kate had a reason behind it. Now, here's the question I have. Did this happen? Did the trade happen, or was this rumor trade happening before Kate submitted her names? Did Kate have the trade place, and that's why she submitted those names? Or did she submit those names, Brandon see it, say, and demand a trade? I don't know which way it went down. It go either way. But Brandon
I don't either. I initially was leaning definitely towards Brandon being left off and being upset about it and the whole trade thing happening. Because I see Kate as being one of the type of people who try to get everyone to get a chance to play kind of a thing. And then, so Saul will give him a chance, you know what I mean? And not realizing that she messed up and left off Brandon. But I don't know. I still think that's kind of how I'm leaning.
I have a theory that she might have been looking at Chandra's record and thinking, well, if he can't beat Chandra, got to try some new IG blood. I need to take my guess and fingers crossed, and hopefully I'll get like a Kevin Smith situation. Maybe when she's doing study sessions, maybe she's that impressed with Ben and Saul. And yes, they are untested to us, but maybe during training sessions, if they have training sessions, maybe she kind of learns that they are indeed worth their salt and MSG, So
worth their Madison.
Way to call back.
But so I'm not. But you are completely right. Hannah is amazing. I feel like 80% accuracy rate, it would dominate in a tournament setting. So I am very surprised that he wasn't put on the roster. I'm surprised, if anything, Hannah and one other competitor was. I don't know Saul all that much. I you've done stuff, hang out with him in General's chat and everything. But I know based on, when Ben does streams and stuff here and there, he definitely is very knowledgeable about IG. Saul, we know jack squat about. Other than he's been excited to play for a while.
That's true. Yeah, he talks a big game. I know that much. But here's just to round up my thing, I'm going to give you a sports analogy. I know Jeremiah Morris in the chat he's a big baseball fan. I've said this before.
That's baseball.
If you're in the playoffs and you have a pitching rotation, this is not the time to sit the guy who's going to eat up innings. And he's not going to be the stud pitcher of the league. He's not like the #1 pitcher. But he's the guy who's going to get you wins and gut it out for you and get those innings. It's not the time to sit him and bring up your September rookie call to see what he can do. not tournament time. You put a rookie in an exhibition match. You put a rookie in a random match throughout the year. And I know there's not as many random matches, but because there's even less matches this year, that's even more of a case for me to put in the proven guy who's going to get me points. Now, exactly 80%, you're going to get wins out of that. His 2 losses, that's amazing. His 2 losses with 80%. Like that, he definitely could at least get 2 or 3 matches winning under that tournament. So I think it's again, I can't say everything. I'm not there. I don't know exactly what the decision went down. Maybe Kate has more. I mean, Kate obviously has more information than I do. I mean, there's something we don't know about. But it just on the surface level of what we know, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But I would want to say.
Maybe she just also low-key wanted Hannah out of her faction and knew that he would react this way. And she would be like, you know what? I want to make it look like he wanted to leave on his own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. Well,
I mean, so that way to give me more options to get a new player.
Shug, I love you, but those matches were close. You could say he got TKO'd, and you'd be right, but basically it was a matter of Brandon missing like 2 questions. Like Chandru threw perfect games. So it wasn't like it was a lot closer than it comes out.
It came down to like the 5-pointer.
Right. It came down to missing.
Not to mention with IG nowadays between Kevin, Hannah, Chandru, that's ridiculous.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. You got Smets come out several occasions criticizing the decision, going to bat for Brandon, saying exactly the same things. And if Kevin Smets is saying that, and Kevin Smets is saying you're a good IG player and deserve to be in there, I have a feeling he knows what he's talking about more than anybody else.
Just a wee bit.
So, love you, Shug, but I'm going to call you out when you do that. You know that. I will also say, you know what? I will throw this in there. I want to talk about the other side of it. But you guys saw the video Brandon made, right?
No, I've only seen his posts. I haven't seen his video.
All I got to say.
I'll go watch it after this.
Is that, no, I'm going to share it right now.
Oh, you are? Okay, great.
Brandon, I love Brandon going back to Burnett, if only because he can lean into his heel side more, which I love Brandon as a heel more than
he's the best, one of the best heels. Like he really is. He is so underrated as a heel.
So I don't know. Hopefully, tell me if you can't hear this when I press.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
I did not see this. Oh, that's fine.
Expand it.
Brandon Hannah has been traded for James White from the Burning Droogs. This is the official trade. Brandon Hannah is leaving the Den. He has been traded for James White, and he is going over to the Burning Droogs. I think that is a shocking trade that came, I don't know if it's out of nowhere after all the events today. I do see something over here in the super chat from Mr. Brandon Hannah, actually. The man himself. Let's throw it up on the screen. So he says, Kate Mulligan is the biggest joke in this league, and I'm going to burn the entire place to the ground to prove it to you. That is the thing, though, Frank Janish, that Brandon Hannah is going to be in the Intergeekdom tournament now. He's going to be playing on behalf of the Burning Droogs, and now he's got a fire lit under his you-know-what. He might actually be motivated to go out there and prove everybody wrong. Prove me wrong, because here's the thing.
Everything burns. I love it.
I love me some Brandon Hannah. That's
I do too. So good.
So good. So either way. Now, back to the other side, Robert Meyer Burnett gives up James White, his 2nd round pick that he was touting to team up with Ethan Irwin and then never played. But of course, we found out later on why, I guess, in a way. But what did the Den get out of James White? I guess a singles player. I mean, they don't. I'm not sure yet how that's going to work out for them. I guess it's okay. It's better than getting nothing, I guess. I haven't seen him play yet, really, besides him being in the families. I know he was good in the families at one point. So I don't know. Have to see how that works out for them. I can't really grade that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know how that trade is for that side, but Burnett got a good deal. Burnett's going to have a pretty solid IG player there. So.
Not kidding. We did get Jeremiah Morris's. He threw a donation through Streamlabs. Thanks so much, Jeremiah. We did get a little theory, little thing from him on what he thinks is going to happen. I got Mike and Oyama in the finals for the Intergeekdom tournament, and I got Laura Kelly and Jose Quevedo.
Josh Quevedo.
Yes, in the finals for the Star Wars tournament. Great choices.
Well, let me say, Jeremiah Morris has Josh Quevedo in the final of the Star Wars tournament because he picked him up in our fantasy league. That's what he's so he's playing on hope a little bit right now, just so you know. But I think we'll talk about the tournament. We'll talk about the tournament in a bit. I think I'd rather go to the trades, and then we can go back to the tourneys that are coming up, because it has to deal with a lot of the free agency stuff as well. So
That's true.
if you don't mind, I think we should come back to that. That's okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have anything else to say on this trade, or should we move on to the next trade?
No, anything else.
Okay, we've really focused on Jeremiah. However, James White, my dude, James White is very, very knowledgeable, and I don't feel like he's getting. I went back and watched some of his old matches in the fan leagues, and he's not someone to sleep on, for sure. I'm not saying, he's going to be like the next Tom or Paul Preston or anything, but he is definitely someone to be reckoned with. And especially, and we have a lot of singles matches coming up. So, I don't feel like they're adequate, considering one's a rookie and one's like a definite amazing IG player. I don't feel like that they're like the same as far as like, what they should be traded for, but singles wise, he's in potential teams. I'm curious who's going to be teamed up with. He has a lot of potential. I cannot wait to see him in action for sure, James.
Yeah, it should be good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving on to the next trade.
Next trade sounds good.
Next trade was probably the biggest trade of them all, I'll say. Sam Levine trading the Hurricane, Jada Paramo, Ken Knapsack, and a first-round pick for big-time Ethan Irwin.
That one shocked me more than I think anything else.
What is R&B doing? I don't quite know.
I think this is he's planning for the future, which I respect. For next season already. And
I interject one real quick about that. The problem I have with that real quick is that we don't know how this is set up yet for next year. Is everybody getting drafted again? Is it going to be the same thing? They can only keep champions, or is there a keepers league? Because that makes a big difference.
I am honestly, my money, that's going to be the case. They just like this season, managers can keep champions, but that's it.
Which makes it not important. Which makes trading for the future pretty irrelevant then. Unless he thinks
trading for future points for the rest of the season.
You said before, like for next season, though. I'm saying for next season, because if you're trading Ethan Irwin for Jada Paramo, Ken Knapsack, that's not going to be much of a thing for next year. I mean, I guess the first round.
No. The thing is, he trades for the option of he traded his first round pick.
Okay,
I believe he got Sam's first round pick. That's it. On top of his own. So he's getting 2 picks in the first round.
Okay.
Again, in the chat, please correct me if I'm wrong, if I misunderstood that. But on top of getting Jader and you have to do Knapsack. Oh, that's so bad. I had to have space on that. Knapsack, obviously, going into Star Wars. Also, it occurred to me that before this, he didn't really have a strong Star Wars competitor, so he did need that. And also, he's like on the top tier of the factions right now, point-wise. So he's probably feeling a little more confident than other managers. That's why he feels a little more confident that he's like, you know what, I don't need Ethan Irwin as much as I thought I would. I can probably trade him for a guarantee involvement in the Star Wars tournament, as well as like some more IG and singles, because he feels like he needs a little love there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Knapsack is a great Star Wars player. He is probably maybe a little rusty. It's been a bit since he's been in Star Wars, but he wrote one of the greatest books on the subject out there, if you've not read it. So it's so good. It makes me cry every time I read it. And then Jader is a solid player. So I think he's a great person to have been involved in that trade to be able to get. If you are trading away big time Irwin, you're getting a solid rookie. I think that you can help, mold into a very solid player to do. So I am still interested why he chose to do that trade, but I don't think it's that bad of a trade. I think it's whatever he has planned. It's a great trade. So
I think it's incredibly risky, but very smart, honestly. I do think so. Again, he's investing in the future, and I respect that. And it's incredibly risky, but there's no, as far as I am concerned, I feel like he's made the best risks going into this the way he went about all the trades and releases and everything this season compared to a lot of other managers. That's not to say they weren't smart about who they added and dropped and traded or anything, but he took the most risks. He's like, you know what, I am planning for X, Y, and Z, but also he did the most of them. So he's sure he could possibly just be taking everything he can get though right now. At least it feels like, or maybe he has a lot of big plans.
Okay, hope to see.
Paul, I feel like you're holding your shit back.
No, I'm thinking about it more. And it does. I mean, looking at it a little bit further, Burnett is doing. Well, he's getting draft picks. That's not bad for him. You are right. He has got some points. He has some leeway. He might be able to manage his way through. He does have his team that's doing pretty well. Sam Levine's means he's going all in. But he kind of needed to because without when McQueen retired, he had no top dog, so to speak, as far as points go. You got Drew Ghai as a great secondary piece, and he's a great leader and a great manager, great character work and everything else. But he needs a very good trivia guy to be that certain child number A or number A. Nobody one.
The usual suspects also doing this means that they have they have 4 spaces available. Yep. They only have 7 competitors on the roster as of now. They have Ghai, Cameron Rice, Ethan Irwin, Janine, Jen Kemp, Matt Atchity on their team right now, leaving 7, 8, 9, 10
which we'll get into
on their roster. Yes. So
into the free agent stuff, we'll definitely get into that. But that is part of it. I will say that real quick. Chris Adams just said that Sabrina, I guess, has tweeted that she made her decision. I don't think she actually said who it is yet, though. It's probably more of that team stuff that they've been doing. But we'll get into the free agency. Yeah, there you go. Yes, I think my decision is made. Make sure you turn into SAN tomorrow. That's what she said.
Yeah, boy.
But heading back to the Sam Levine trade, I got to ask you guys this.
Yes.
You have Drew Ghai. You have Ethan Irwin. You have Janine the Machine. You have Matt Atchity. What are your teams? Wait, what do you want to happen? What do you think will happen? 2 different things, possibly.
Very different questions. That's very different answers. Kelsey, you go first.
I'm trying. I mean, I loved Time Machine. I thought that was a really solid team, and I wouldn't mind seeing them back together as a team. But I don't feel bad. I think this is fine as well, but I think it's gonna be Irwin and Ghai, and then Janine and Etchin. But I would like it to be the other way around. I liked Time Machine.
Do you have one else? No.
I thought Time Machine was okay. They weren't great, but I thought they were okay. I think both Janine and Andrew Ghai, I felt like their strengths aligned really well. They worked really well together. I think they're amazing together. I just feel like their strengths align too well.
I agree.
That's just me. I do think that I wouldn't be surprised if they came back together, just because there is a lot of untapped. Because I do feel like there is a lot of untapped potential between Ethan and Janine. However, my dream team is between Ethan Irwin and Andrew Ghai.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Strengths.
I think that's what's going to happen too.
And differences.
I will say this.
So different. To me, that's also Ethan Irwin. He's like very I don't want to say he's stoic because he's not stoic, but at the same time, nothing gets to him. And he doesn't necessarily need anyone to speak for him, but he's just okay with hanging back and be like, yeah, I'm gonna kick his hiney. Done. We're good. And versus Andrew Ghai's like, yeah, I'm gonna kick your butt. Yeah. It's so they're very so I feel like on a lot of great teams, you gotta have a little bit of both, essentially.
I get that. Yeah. I just wanted to point this out. He says that Sam will put Irwin with Ghai, but he should put Irwin with Atchity. I think there is a little bit of a falsehood there in terms of Atchity is not someone who knows the game very well still.
Yeah.
And I still think Irwin, that's not exactly his strength either. Now, they both have great knowledge, and I think they would be a good team. But I think Irwin and Ghai match better only because Drew knows the game honestly more than almost anybody else in the league. He's not the best trivia guy, but he knows the game. He knows how to hit. He knows how to get in people's heads. Actually does not. And Erwin actually almost would think they would be too laid back. They don't have the killer instinct as much. I think Erwin and Ghai would give Erwin that killer instinct that they would need to like really strike. That's what I'm thinking of that. And I do think it's going to be Erwin and Ghai. And the reason why I think that is if you watch, no, I know, man, that is kind of what managers are for, but it doesn't matter in the game. The killer instinct is not there. And if you don't have the killer instinct, the manager can't do jack shit about the killer instinct. And I think Drew needs to get that in the head as much as
yeah. I mean, there's only so much a manager can do anyways. You have you know what I mean? Like they can call challenges, stuff like that, but there is still strategy in the gameplay that the manager has no involvement in whatsoever. It's what you're choosing to say.
Actually, he's not a heavy studier. He isn't. And that's totally fine. It's just a different kind of competitor. He's very vocal about, he's like, you know what? I know what I know and I don't know what I don't. And that's it. I'm not going to go out of my way to study for this. And that's just the way it is. And that's totally fine. Because he's like, you know what? Work, life, family, that is just a priority, and totally understand, obviously. So, I do feel like he would be a great part of a team, but not part of singles. Being part of a team, I could easily picture him, hypothetically, I would picture him, honestly, if he were to be going singles, I think he would be okay. I don't think he would be great, but I think he'd be fine. I could easily picture Achity with, honestly, I could picture him with Janine, just because I do feel like they kind of go together, strengths and weaknesses wise. I feel like Janine is a little bit better with the strategy aspect. Hi, buddy. Versus Matt Achity is a little bit better with the knowledge to kind of help calm it down a little bit. And they would kind of balance each other out a little bit, because Janine does. I don't want her to have a teammate that would try to manage her, if that makes sense. I don't think I feel like she just needs to focus on herself. She doesn't need to focus on working someone else, if that makes sense, or someone trying to manage her. Manage her like a rookie or something, if that makes sense.
And another thing too, I saw someone mention this in the comments earlier, and I agree, is that I love Erwin, I love Achity. I don't think them as a team would go over. Is that the term with wrestling, where like the fans come up? I don't think their dynamic would ever do that. Now, Erwin and Ghai, probably. Ghai just, he can definitely, I think their dynamic would be great, and they could definitely go over as a team. I think Achity and Erwin would not be entertaining to watch together.
Yeah, and I do also want to mention the whole killer instinct isn't to prevent another team.
I'd say
Matt actually doesn't have a killer instinct. He's like, wasn't he the competitor that was like, you know what? We didn't get the answer. We know for a fact that the answer that they gave was junky. He's the reason that the family was able to go through. Mm-hmm. If that was if any other manager was running that show, if it was any other competitor that did have a killer instinct, they would have been like, we won and we're going to walk away with it, but they were like, no, we didn't win honorably or whatever. So I shouldn't.
I also want to say in there, killer instinct does work. Killer instinct does work. Drew Ghai used killer instinct and beat Dan Murrell, TKO Dan Murrell, because he got in his head. And it did work against corruption. They might have lost the match against corruption, but Mike Kalinowski was so rusty that it didn't, because Drew got his head. Chance won that game for corruption because Chance was able to handle it. But Drew got him in the game that way. Actually, killer instinct does matter a lot more than you think it does. It's not irrelevant. Yeah. And one other thing also is, he also said something like about fans. It doesn't matter if you want to win the belt or have the fans. If you're not over with the fans, you're not getting matches.
If fans don't like you, you're not playing. So,
well, it's I don't think the conversation is whether or not one competitor. The conversation regarding this about when we're pairing up hypothetical teams. We don't know who's gonna win or anything. The conversation surrounding who's gonna win a championship, that's not anywhere close to what we're talking about. It doesn't matter at this point. If we're talking about the IG tournament and championship. That's a whole other conversation. But there's no point in talking about who's gonna win a singles or teams tournament at this point, because we don't know. We hardly know any teams at this point. We don't know many singles competitors. That's me going into it at this point. So there's no point in talking about it further, if that makes sense. But also, Andrew Ghai is 100% a championship player. He's going to get there one day. It's just a matter of time. So, whatever.
He's won 3 matches. He's beaten 3 champions.
Whatever.
Either way.
Okay, he's going to get there. It's a matter of time.
One last thing I do want to say, actually, real quick, though, is that about whether it's going to happen. It's going to be Irwin and Ghai, no matter what anybody else thinks, anyway. Because if if you read between the lines, Drew's been on many podcasts since this whole thing went down, and he just said he was only going to agree to be with 2 or 3 people that he would actually agree to team with.
Yeah.
One of them would have been Ben Bateman. One of them would have been Ethan Irwin. I don't think anybody else is on that team. So I think
he also said Janine. He also said Janine a few times.
He actually never said Janine not this time around. He said it before. Most recently, he didn't say Janine. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be Irwin. I think Sam knew this. I think Andrew Ghai told Sam, this is the people I would team with. So Sam went, okay, you would team with Ethan Irwin. Okay, I'm going to go out and get me Ethan Irwin. And that's how it went down. Drew's going to play coy. And Drew's not going to say that because it's all backstage stuff. But that's basically, I think, how it went down. Drew goes, I want to meet with Irwin. Sam said, okay, I'll get Ethan Irwin. Because he couldn't get Ben Bateman back working in reunite team action. So at that point, unfortunately. Yeah. That's just my own
100%.
thoughts.
Yeah, totally understand. That makes sense.
So anyway. But so yeah, okay. Anything else about that particular trade?
No, I think I'm good.
We got the other trade we had was Roxy Stryer trading JTE to Robert Meyer Burnett, shocking, for Josh Cavedo and a 3rd round draft pick. That's Burnett going for the future, guy. He is stacking draft picks. It's smart because he didn't need a Star Wars player anymore because he got Knapsack in the previous trade.
Yep.
JTE, I guess you get something for Josh because Josh is an unproven player. He's not going to get much back. The fact that he got he traded the draft pick. I'm sorry, that makes no sense. I'm sorry. He traded the draft pick to get JTE. That's what makes it a little bit questionable because JTE's not going to play. He's not going to play very much. I mean, he already said that with Corona and everything, he's out of town. He's not going to be able to drive in, fly in much. Roxy got him to be a live event person, to be in Boston when they're going to do Boston. So I'm not sure what RMB thinks he's going to get out of JTE.
We also don't know what the rest of the year is going to be like. If it is going to end up just being an all online year because of Corona, JTE has a computer wherever he's at. So, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm thinking, honestly.
I think that's what he's banking on, is that he thinks we're just going to be on computer all the time. So,
especially when talking about live events, I know Christian has mentioned some on Senate at one point that live events are probably not going to happen until next year.
Yeah.
And that's, and it's just statistically speaking, like right now, a lot of places are just not comfortable. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be comfortable going to a live event in like July. I wouldn't, or even the fall. If there was a live event in September, I don't know if I would be comfortable. But that's just me. And I just know a lot of people in general aren't, really comfortable. It's kind of iffy right now more than ever. But I do feel like it is kind of a smart play, honestly, just because there is more and more conversation about competitors doing this online, especially as a direct reaction to the immense popularity of these exhibition matches that we might continue further online just for the rest of this season, unless things change. So having a prior champion online, and JTE has been he's been very quiet about it a little bit. Not super quiet, but at the same time, he's been talking about how he has been picking up the books again. So
I think we're going to get live events again sooner than you think. I think, as far as that goes, I think by Spectacular, I think we'll be live. I think we'll be back for Spectacular.
Yeah, I think Spectacular will be our first live event, to be perfectly honest.
That would be the end of the year.
But I don't know if, but I don't think we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get just. I think we're going to get studio matches long before that.
I don't know. I work with infectious disease doctors, and they think we're going to have a worse second wave come like early fall. So it could get worse.
I don't know. I'll have to see. I'll have to see how that goes down. But I think that because I know Christian doesn't want to can't do teams over online. Already can't do that. We're doing a tournament, but as far as going into, I have a feeling that Christian will do anything he can not to have a championship match done on StreamYards.
Yeah,
because it would almost be
anticlimactic.
You have to put an asterisk on it because it's a live event type of match. Or at least you could put it if you put it in the studio. It's a live event studio match. You could have a studio type audience, at least a little bit of live energy. So they're gonna push for it. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm hoping that Spectacular is live. That's what I'm really hoping now. But that's me. Yeah. So we didn't talk about Roxy's side of this now.
Mm-hmm.
She gets a Star Wars player. She had Alex Damon, but Alex Damon can't be in the tourney for Star Wars.
Yeah.
So now she gets a Star Wars player for the tourney. So it's a smart deal by her
Well,
because
that's
JT is questionable to play at best. At best, I mean, it's definitely a thing. And she gets a 3rd round draft pick. So somebody who's probably not going to play very much in her mind, or at least going to help her for something she needs and a future pick. I think it's a great trade for Roxy.
Yeah,
I do too.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, like you said, probably not expecting them to get you the very, very end, but
right.
You got to get those points, for sure, and at least do the best you can.
Right.
Yeah.
So interesting. All right, so that's where we are with that. I guess anything more about the trades, or do you want to go into the releases and then the ultimate free agency and tourney stuff?
I'm ready to talk about them drops. Oh my gosh.
Well, the drops are there, and that's basically at this point. The drops are very simple. A lot of them are surprising. Basically, you knew that the teams needed spots open because they want to shift up their team and get people who are going to be in the tourneys.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't going to play. We had Sam Levine releasing Jenna Bush. She said she couldn't play. Not a big deal.
Makes sense.
Dagnino releasing BC Jackass.
That's the one that kind of hurt me in my soul a little bit.
I love him.
I love BC.
I do. I love him as well. But he's not very proven, and he wasn't an IG player, I don't think. And I think that they wanted to get somebody for the tourneys. I think that's what it was.
Sorry to break you guys up a little bit. We did get several Streamlabs in the past few minutes, actually, kind of back to back.
Oh.
So I did post another one. We had another one from Shug. I posted in the private chat. Kelsey, you want to read it?
Sure. Let's see. PLD, I love you, but you're wrong, brother, about Hannah. Alex and Kelsey, you two are awesome and enjoy everything you do. Love the Action Army and everything you do. Thank you for being a role model for all us fans of the Schmodown.
Oh, Shug.
That was sweet.
You're telling me I'm wrong, but then you gotta give me some love. So I love you. Shug.
Giving love to the 2 stars of the show.
Throw it out there. Shug has got a great podcast.
We also
podcast too. His Let's Get Ready podcast. He did an interview with Kate Mulligan on Saturday. Dropped on Saturday. I think it drops on Saturday afternoon. You can put that in the chat. Shug. It's really good. It's really good. And Christian shouted it out as well. So good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Always here. Always a fan of you. So
we did get a few others, like I mentioned. So if you would read this one, Paul.
Sure. Jake. Is it Jake Acavetta?
Mm-hmm. Or Jake.
I don't agree that Ethan actually wouldn't go over. People love Ethan, and he's been getting a lot better on camera in his promos. And actually is a fun personality who won a lot of support after what he did in the match against the family.
Yeah. Where's the cutthroatness? He's not cutthroat.
We're going to get over.
It's out of balance, though. Like, I feel like those individually are great. Doesn't necessarily mean they work together, per se. You know what I mean?
And I will say that I think actually, right after he did the thing with the family, I think he had a lot of love at that point. People have short memories, though. I don't think that's going to be like
that is true.
Thing. As far as people kind of remember, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, it's kind of cool. But now
I don't think anyone really talk about it in a bit.
I think only the Army remembers it the way.
Considering, yeah,
that's an Army memory.
We did get one from Jeremiah. Kelsey, would you do the honor and read that one?
Sure. So I love the sports element, but my biggest fear is that when something happens like a team action reunion via trade, I don't want that announced over the Facebook group. Do you see that happening, or will Christian hold the news for a while? I think he wants that at a live event. I feel like that will be saved until a live event.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing you're going to do. Absolutely.
The amount of tears we will cry.
Yeah.
It's going to
be a gift for the Army.
Like openly weeping.
Mm-hmm.
Our dads are back together.
With our new stepmommy, Jessica. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
Oh my gosh! And would they continue as a face team or a heel team? Oh,
I'll be honest with you, this is a wrestling thing. They'd have to be faces at first because getting them back together, everybody would be cheering the hell out of them. So they already be cheered. They'd end up being a tweener team because they wouldn't be able to stop the
way they are.
Their wise assness or whatever. But I think we'd have to start him as a face at this point.
Every time I hear a guy say that he's a face, I'm like, yeah, totally.
Love that.
Yeah, sorry, we're kind of getting off topic. I apologize.
Yeah, that's true. That's all right. Other releases we had Kaiser releasing Daniel Villalobos, Robert Meyer Burnett releasing Justin Kroll, Winston releasing Edgar, and Demi. I can never say this guy's name right. I'm sorry. I'm going to butcher it. Adejuigbe, Adejuyigbe. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce it. I apologize.
I do think I do mention it was clarified that people aren't only being dropped, not only because, maybe they kind of, after working with them, they're just not the competitor they hoped for or whatever it may be, or maybe it's all strategy, but also sometimes schedules don't work out and they discover they just don't have the time to study, or maybe they just don't have time to film or just dedicate time to be available to film matches. So that's something to remember. Like, it's not always like a talent issue. So,
right. So at the end of that, we had the Burning Jurors had one spot left open. And hopefully you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I did math and it was late at night. The Den has one spot open. The Dungeon has one spot open. Exchange has one spot open. Corruption has one spot open. Quirky Mercs have 2 spots open.
Yes.
The Rockstars have 1. Swag has 2. The Suspects have 4.
Yes.
Spots open. So that's where it's going to lead us. I want to talk about the free agency, but I think before we talk about the free agency, we should talk about the tourneys, because that's going to be kind of the free agency is going to be about filling holes for the tourneys.
Filling holes for the tourneys.
So the IG tourney, we haven't had them all announced yet. Christian get a partial list of who's been submitted. We have the usual suspects. We're submitting Kemp and Janine the Machine, which is cool. I like seeing Janine the Machine try IG out, and she knows a lot of those things. I think it'd be a cool. I think it'd be a cool thing to see her do. Can she step it up to be in that top level that we've talked about? I don't know. I have no idea what her complete knowledge is, but I think it's great to see her try.
I'm excited for that for sure.
The Dungeon. I'm sorry. Alex, do you have anything to say about Machine and Kemp before we move on? I was going to go back.
Kemp, we've heard a lot about from her. She is. I feel like she's a kind of competitor. People. I was surprised she was picked so far after the start of the drafting as she did, considering she is. When she started in the fan leagues in IGA, she did so good.
Yes.
Like the hype around her is intensely real. But I'm really kind of curious to see her. But Janine, I'm really kind of hoping that she's going to shift her focus from teams and IG. I'm kind of see her because sometimes when it comes to IG players, it's a finite amount of movies, but you have to know every single line of those movies, every little thing. It's like intense. So it's a completely different study style and learning process to really learn to ace. So I wonder if she, I don't want to say thrive, but I wonder if she might end up discovering that she would be best in a teams and IG situation, honestly, like a lot of competitors are doing, like Zipper, right now. So I'm kind of curious to see if that's might be the new situation for her.
Yeah,
for sure.
Very good point. All right, the Dungeon, fucking IG is for them. They already have Smash the Champion, and they're putting Parker and Zipper. I mean, Parker is a dominant force, and if he doesn't win the tourney, I would actually honestly be surprised.
I would be too. I think he's got it.
And Zipper is a good IG player, I think, so he could get them a couple wins too. Depending on how the brackets fall down, how the brackets just shake out, Zipper could definitely get them points. But I mean, Parker right there, it's a no-brainer to me.
Remember when Winston was in IG?
I do.
That was rough.
That is true. Also, that is true.
Yeah. That is true. One of the best.
Let's see. We got the Drugs, who are going to put the Warfather, who I love the horse.
I love the War Father so much.
Father!
not-
Huzzah!
I'm not sure
Huzzah.
if he's champion or anything up, but he's definitely entertaining. He's got some good knowledge, so I could see him eking out a win or two in the interview. And that could be fun. And we got Brandon Hanna, which is why I think Drake made that trade. You trade, you get a top tier IG player. He's definitely top four, probably, especially in the tournament with the Smets and Chandra not playing. So say it, the War Father. That's true.
War Daddy.
And that is true. Yeah, being trained by Smets could help Zipper out quite a bit. Being trained by Smets with Parker, so that's got to rub off a little bit for him. But yeah, Hannah's got chips. He's got something to prove now. So I'd like to see Hannah against somebody not named Chandru, who's not learned the game, and let's see how it shakes out.
And not to mention, we can't forget Kalinowski's in the IG tournament.
We're getting there.
Oh yeah.
The Den has Saul and Goddard, which we already kind of talked about, which we're kind of like, I think it's a Hail Mary. I don't know. I don't necessarily like it. But if Goddard does what he did for singles so far, which is be pretty good, he could get them a couple of wins. Saul is a complete unknown to me. I mean, I talked to Saul a bunch of times. Saul seems like he has the knowledge base, but whether it transfers up to
definitely has the confidence.
Definitely has the confidence. That's damn sure. And then, like you said, Alex, Corruption's putting both Kalinowski and Ellison in the tournament. I love this chutzpah because I know that Kalinowski said he wasn't going to play IG. Ellison was never really an IG player. He could play IG, but he played the 5-way. Did pretty well.
The 5-way.
But I like the ballsy move because Corruption has they're in dead last. So the two studs of the faction, the two guys that are leading the faction, are saying, come on my shoulders, we're going to get some points for our faction that are needed. It's like a sports, I think the sports reference, again, I'll throw out a sports reference in there for you guys in the chat. Red Sox 2004 ALCS, the Yankees were up 3 games to nothing on the Red Sox. Red Sox were fighting back. At one point, the Red Sox were up against elimination. They're going against extra innings. And the three starting pitchers who didn't even play, they weren't in the bullpen. They walk in the extra innings. They walked out to the bullpen to reload the bullpen. And Wakefield came and pitched a couple of innings. It was an amazing situation where the studs of the team said, you know what? It's playoff time. I'm going to put this team on my back, and we're going to win. So they're the ones who are going to have to get the points, and they're saying, I'm going to do it for my team. I love that aspect of it. So good for them. And it could pay off really well. I think Chance is a fucking underrated player still.
He is scary. Like every single time I've hung out with him, he's studying. Like we're sitting there eating food, and he is studying.
Yeah,
it is
I did
commitment. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's the group community we're a part of. I mean, this community in particular is such an all-encompassing group. When you are a competitor or when you are a fan, it impacts a lot. It's not something you just turn on and off every once in a while. It is constant conversation. It's something I talk to my husband about when we're sitting on our phones, waiting to go to bed at 2 a.m. We're like, who do you think is going to be drafted?
Right.
Who do you think is going to pair up between the usual suspects? And we're passing theories, and we're like, man. Yeah. We did get Streamlabs recently. Thank you so much, Weston Nairo.
It worked.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Happy Mother's Day has been announced. Who's taking Dan's spot in the tourney? And digging the nod to suffrage.
We'll get there. We'll get there, Weston. I got it coming up soon. So we'll get there. Suffrage.
Thanks for Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. And I'm happy. I know Weston was saying in the chat that the Streamlabs wasn't working. I'm glad you got it working. Thank you so much, Weston. We appreciate it. So we'll get there because I have to say that's what we're talking about now is that the four teams, the Rockstars, the Mercs, the Exchange, and the Swag, none of them had announced. As far as I know, that when Christian put that list, they weren't on the list, and I don't think anybody's made an announcement since then. So as far as I know, we don't know who the Rockstars are putting up, the Mercs, the Exchange, and Swag. So I have a list of my suggestions of the possibilities. Starting with the Rockstars, Alex Damon has played an IG, so I think it's probably a good safe bet that he's probably going to be an IG.
I think so.
So he's not going to be the Star Wars tournament, so you might as well throw him in the IG.
Yeah.
Obviously, Haybon's going to be an IG, though. That's definitive, I would think.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he's a great player, though. He's not going to do well, though. He would get knocked out in the first match.
Depending on his, I would agree.
Depending on who he's against, yeah.
Although I will say he's got a little bit of that Stacy in him, and like he has some matches where he looks a lot better than he should. So I wouldn't be surprised if he snuck by round one, depending on who he's matched up against.
Do you know what his record is?
I can look it up real quick.
Of Haibon in particular, because I can only remember him winning once or twice. Maybe.
Let's see.
Because I feel like I'm not remembering it correctly. Because I remember he did do a 3-way match where he ended up winning, but it was against like 2 rookies, and at that point he played 3 matches.
He is 1-3.
1-3.
Yes.
But he lost. Let's put it this way: his losses were to Mike Kalinowski, to Chandra Dupapani. He lost also to Mark Donica at one point. And Mark Donica was a great player, good player at the time too. He did win a 5-way, TKO by 5-way. So
yeah, they were all rookies. Though.
Yeah, they were all rookies. You are right.
Rookies at that point. Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I think he's probably going to be on the first round unless he's changed something drastically. But I wouldn't be absolutely shocked if he did sneak by round one.
Yeah, you know what? I love being surprised.
Me too.
The other potential play on the Rockstars, if Alex Damon didn't want to go, is I think Adam Gertler could probably play IG. I don't know that. I mean, he didn't play IG before. He used to play on teams with DC Movie News with Kalinowski, but he is a DC Movie News guy, so it kind of lends me to believe
on IG.
I don't know. I'll have to see.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
A
picture. I'm better with faces rather than names.
I don't know. He was Mike's partner before Mike went evil. Silent Assassin.
I remember seeing that golden face, and I was like, where he was just like, when he turned, and I was like, where he had like the what was like a German situation.
He's up. I love that.
Yeah.
He was actually good. He actually a lot better than he came off, I think. So, Ferris, I hope Donica comes back. I love
Donica.
He lives in New Orleans or Baton Rouge.
I thought he lived in Florida. Maybe I could be wrong. He definitely moved away.
It's far away.
Anytime soon, unfortunately.
In a while, yeah.
So moving on then to the quirky mercs. We have no idea at this point, and he has Mara Knopic on his roster, but she's not playing.
She's not playing right now.
Unless they're going to announce some kind of surprise where she's ready to go now. I don't think so. So that leaves us with who? We have Bibbs. We have Meyer. We have Humphrey. I don't know if I can know if Humphrey could be IG. I don't have anybody on the mercs that could really be.
And Mara's not in there anymore, right?
Mara's on his roster still, but she's not.
Yeah,
she's not playing currently.
Well, I'm really, really confused about that, honestly. Like, why is that the case?
She has medical issues.
No. That makes total sense. I understand that. It's just I'm surprised if that's the case. She hasn't been dropped.
That's because I think he's holding on to her in case she does come back later on in the year, because she's probably going to come back in the year. And when she comes back, she's going to almost automatically have a shot at the belt. When she left, it was supposed to be her versus Smith for the title. And she got back. So I think if she comes back this year, she's going to automatically probably go right back into a title shot. So I think he keeps her on the lead on the list for that reason. If she can be ready by Spectacular and he gets a title at the end of the year and holds the IG belt, that's a champion player he could have for next year if he keeps her. If it's a lot of ifs, and it's a lot of gambles.
It's a whole lot of ifs. It's like it's like a JTE situation. That's a lot of ifs. That's a very big risk, considering they have no one in IG.
And that's actually true too, because she already has the title shot, so she doesn't need to lose. She doesn't play the tournament, so they don't want to risk her in that at this point.
I would love. Actually, I'm kind of curious to see if Brendan Meyer would actually be open to playing in IG. I could see him playing in IG, honestly.
Coy was not very good, Krista. Coy's not good.
No, I could see him doing that, but Coy's not that good.
He's not that great. He's a better manager than he is a player.
Way better manager.
No. I mean,
I'm sorry. I just threw Chris Adams had say Coy by.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Brendan. I was like, why wouldn't Brendan be a good IG player? Like, and you were saying that, and I was like, oh.
Tim Franco is a possibility. I don't know. I mean, Tim Franco, he's a great player. Haley Fouch, I don't know what she knows. I don't know if she knows.
I know her knowing more like genre, like horror stuff. I don't know what her IG
monster movie. Big one.
But Tim Franco, I love Tim Franco. He knows a lot of Bond. Like he's like Mike. I don't know what he knows as far as IG goes. I don't know if he's ready to go that route. I hope he does. I would love to see Tim Franco play. I love
Franco. I want to see more Franco.
I love to see Tim Franco. We're having him on Chill in a couple weeks. I can't wait to have that one. That should be fun. I know you weren't, Chris. I know. I just
Tim Franco, he's cool and all, but he sent us a picture involving poutine. So I'm like,
I'll get him
you're
in.
okay, Tim Franco, but
So yeah, I think the Mercs is definitely a person. They're going to fill it, probably an IG player in the draft. That's my or in the free agency. That's what I think.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I think they need to.
I can't. I know there was on Call to the Fan Leagues that was mentioned the other day. They did a huge roster talking about different competitors and everything that could be open to playing Star Wars and IG and everything. Could fan league competitors be potentially drafted if they weren't on the list, right?
If they were on the list, they can be. If they weren't on the list, they cannot be.
Okay, that's what I was kind of curious about. Like going through that, I was when I was like watching that episode, I was like, I mean, can they?
I think a few of them.
I was like, I mean, can names be added to the draft list?
Not yet.
Or
Not
something? I was like, did I? I wasn't sure.
Unless you're Chris Jericho, I think that Christian would probably make room for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he'd make room for it.
No big deal.
I know he
No
would.
big deal. I think we would all be okay with making room for Jericho.
There's got to be a loophole written in the contract somewhere. Like, but in case Jericho wants, yeah, he can be added.
No big deal. No big deal. For that, Kevin Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine?
Okay, we got the exchange. Obviously, they have Emily Rose Jacobson as a IG player already, so it's I don't know if it's safe to assume or not. I could see that being ballsy because of Bateman. Bateman is a guy who tends to want to be ballsy and like make these out of the pocket, like we're going to do something that's out of the wall and go for it. Yeah. So I don't know because Emily Jacobson didn't have a great match against Damon. It wasn't like awful, but it wasn't great. But the big question to me is the Barbarian. People have kind of nothing's been officially announced as far as I know that he's definitely doing it. But if he would, that'd be. I have not seen him miss a question like in any trivia as far as this goes. I think he'd be scary. I think he could be a person that could maybe match up with Parker if he's as good as he says. If he's good as he's proving himself to be. He's only had the one real match. Oh yeah, he did the exhibition match though, and he was pretty monstrous at that as well. So I don't know what's going to go on. If Barbarian is ready to play after his loss of his beautiful wife, and we offer our condolences still. It's an awful thing to go through, especially during this time. So is he going to be ready to do that?
That's true.
He's been announced in IG. Has he been announced in the tournament though, Jerry, or just he's been announced in IG? He said he's in IG. There's that ready for IG. Is he ready to play at all as far as the actual?
That's a very different conversation of whether technically someone is able to play versus if someone is ready to play. Because obviously, considering his situation, if he wanted to take a step back, we are not going to tell him no. Obviously, if he was in the tournament, wonderful.
Can I ask you guys real quick? Where was that?
No,
Jerry or Chris, where was that? Because I never saw that. I'm just kind of curious.
I don't remember that being mentioned, but things definitely change, obviously.
But if that's the case, and he's in there, it's probably going to be him and Jacobson then in there, probably.
Yeah.
But though, maybe Jacobson replaced by a draft pick. I don't know. I'll have to see. We'll get past that. We'll get to the free agency. That we have one more team to discuss. We had Swag.
Wait, did we talk about Cody Hall? I can easily picture Cody Hall in IG, honestly. Easily.
You think so?
I personally can.
Okay. I haven't seen him play. I know he's at Jurassic Park, but that's not IG, so I don't know if.
Yeah, I mean, like he was 1 point away from being Lon Harris, though. He's only played like 2 or 3 matches, and he lost all of them. However, that was like in season 2 and 3. That was a long time ago, and he's kind of in a similar situation where it get like a RB3, where he's lost all the matches, but every match he's in, it's a great match, and that doesn't really his what's the word when it's like the wins losses, what's that word called?
Winning percentage?
Yeah, it doesn't reflect how knowledgeable of a competitor he is. And I feel like Cody Hall definitely has a potential to be in consideration for IG for sure.
He says that he has a secret weapon. It could be Cody. It could also be nothing because Bagney could just be talking out of his ass as he sometimes does.
I'm
It could
surprised that never happened.
be
for him.
Could be barbarian. So that's
Never
cool.
happened.
Let me ask the chat again because since we're live right now. Did Christian announce anybody else specifically new that wasn't in that initial posting? If they did, let me know because I'd like to. Add
I watched one of his Q&As when he was talking about the tournaments, and I thought one of them he said, "Oh wait, that hasn't been confirmed yet."
Okay.
I thought that was that one, but maybe not.
Maybe. Okay.
Roka and IG? I can't.
That's not happening. Roka's never going to do that.
Interesting.
That man wants Star Wars.
He wants that ass.
Wants that ass. All right, then while we're waiting for any more on that, we got Swag. We don't know about Adam. Swag has Adam Hlavik, who I'm sure will be the IG person, or at least one of the IG people. The second one, you got is Ace Cabrera going to do it? I don't know if he's a Star Wars guy, but he didn't do very well against Parker, so I don't know if he's ready to just jump back on the horse and do it.
I think Adam and Paul are like Oyama. He's an IG. He's going to be in the tournament.
Is he going to be in the tournament?
I'm like 90% sure he's in the IG tournament.
He's never played IG before, so I don't know if that was a thing that he was going to do or not. But, I mean, who knows?
If he says he's going to be an IG, the dude is going to be an IG.
Did he say that somewhere though?
I believe it was on the list. I'm like 90% sure I saw his name on the list.
It wasn't on the original list, so we might have been on the new list, and that might be the case. But
I didn't see that list either.
See, I had a list that was totally incorrect and made up. Who knows? Maybe I'm making this up. Who knows? But for some reason, I had that logged in my head that he was playing in IG.
Okay.
So.
Right. Okay, well, let's before we get into the free agent, the last part of the free agents thing is that could be. Danielle says that's going to be the IG pick. That could be. I mean, I don't think I'm not saying he can't do IG. I'm just saying he hasn't done it yet. So until I see him announce that, it seems like it's very much more. They don't like to do that without making some kind of big deal about it. Like Dan's not going to do it because he's never done it before, and it's not the time to jump in to do it. So. Oh, did he really? I didn't know that.
That's what I'm thinking of because I remember associating him with IG, and I assumed maybe
that's what it was.
Maybe that's what it was. But
all right. Well, let's before we jump into the free agency thing, let's quickly go through the Star Wars tournament as well on Twitch. That's going to be on Twitch. Real interesting there. It's going to be an 8-man tournament, which means that one team is going to be not represented, one faction. Now, initially you think, it's got to be the championship team. It's got to be the guy with Damon on it, but Roxy traded for Quevedo. So she is going to be in the Star Wars League. So that means, if you look down the list of the factions, you got the Droogs has Kevin Knapsack. He's said he's going to be in the Star Wars. The Den's got Sean Sullivan.
Yep.
Already. The Dungeon's got Adam Witt, who's played Star Wars. So I assume that would be the case there. The Exchange has Dimilana. That's a no-brainer.
Yep.
The Corruption has Laura Kelly. No-brainer. The Mercs has Joseph Scrimshaw. No-brainer. That's what he's there for. So that leaves us with Rockstar, Swag, and the Suspects. You got the Rockstars traded for Quevedos. That's probably going to be her guy. You have Swag with Ace Cabrera, but I heard I think on SCN Live that Harlow said that Ace wasn't going to do Star Wars, even though he was on Jedi Council for a while. So I'm kind of surprised that might not be the case.
What about RB3?
I don't think he's a Star Wars guy enough. No,
no?
He can't. Not as far as that's a good point too. What if? That's an idea.
I mean, that'd be interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I asked about him specifically because I know RB3 is associated with like Star Wars stuff on certain episodes. So that's it. And I try to watch certain episodes here like a few times a week, but I don't watch every single episode. But every time that I see him on for a long time, it was like something associated with Star Wars. So I assumed that he was really big into Star Wars.
But also they have those 2 empty spots. So
Ollie,
there's a very strong Star Wars person that's a free agent right now.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about. That's what's leading this whole thing is leading up to Molly. Where's
Molly? Where's
now,
she?
Before I say that, Usual Suspects have 4 spots open and no Star Wars player right
That's
now.
true.
So maybe that's why if a Christian says that one team didn't give him a player, maybe that's the Usual Suspects because they're hoping to get Molly Damon. That's what I'm wondering if that's the case. But really quick, also said that they think that the Ace is going to be in Star Wars. I said I heard that on SCN that Winston had said the Ace didn't want to play in Star Wars, which is why I don't think Ace is going to play in Star Wars. Although I'll ask him tomorrow, see what he says. Because he's on Chill tomorrow. He's our guest on Chill. So free agents, Molly Damon, where does she go? Where do you go?
I could see definitely the usual suspects wanting to pick her up. I think it just depends on who gets to go first, really. I think anyone that has a spot, especially if they either don't have a Star Wars player or don't have a super confident Star Wars player, they're going to want to get Molly. Mm-hmm. So I feel the usual suspects got her, but I can see Swag making a play for her too.
Is there any? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say real quick, the big question I have is we only have, again, it's an 8-player tournament, maybe a 9 if they're going to be playing. Does that mean specifically that you can't have, like, could Molly go in Corruption and they have Laura Kelly and Molly Damon play for Corruption in the Star Wars tournament? Is that possible?
If that's possible, I could totally see that. I think Molly, personality-wise, would be so cool in Corruption. Like, if I could pick just for that reasons, I totally would love her in Corruption. But I'm not sure if they can or not.
Well, I just kind of want to mention as well is that a lot of the pictures that are being associated with Molly Shannon right now, I don't know if it's like if they picked the picture out for a specific reason or just because she looks really cool, because she does look really, really cool. But it's a picture where she uses when she cosplayed as like Dark Gray. Mm-hmm. From Last Jedi, and she looks so cool. But also that being said, she looks really evil, and that's pretty darn heelish. Wow. So I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted her to come out as a potential like heel Star Wars competitor already, just by like showing it, or perhaps I'm just over analyzing the picture selection. Yeah, to me, like that looks like something from Corruption if I ever saw it. Don't.
Interesting enough, if you look at that, Molly posted that today.
Yeah.
And it says hashtag movie trivia schmodown and says, never forget, I love Star Wars and I especially love causing chaos.
See, I think she's making a pull for Corruption. I think that's where.
Not to mention Corruption. I don't want to say they need some love right now. Mm-hmm. They need some love. They need some points. They're under desperate circumstances right now. They're like in last place or second to last place right now, and it's kind of rough.
So,
yeah, I don't think Molly's going to.
Yeah,
I think it's not going to happen.
Roxy has one spot left.
She does, but I think that she's got Alex Damon ready. She's got Josh Vito.
She just wants to save it.
I think she's either going to say that she might go for somebody in. What does she have on IG again? She has. We don't know if she has an IG yet. I think she's going to go for an IG player.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Damon. No, so maybe that. I don't know what she's going for. I guess she could. If you're only doing one per faction, then why trade for Josh Vito? Unless. And Roxy did say, I remember. I don't know on Roxy's stream, she specifically said she got Josh Vito for being a Star Wars guy. So that says to me that Josh is your Star Wars guy. It's only one per faction. So I don't think Molly joins Roxy. I think Molly, but I honestly think my pick is the usual suspects. 4 spots open. They just traded their Star Wars player, Knapsack. To me, I kind of feel like that Sam Levine probably reached out to Molly Damon before making that trade. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Can we get you? Can we nab you? And then, throw Ken Knapsack aside to get the trade, to get Erwin, and then you bring Molly in as your Star Wars player.
I can see either. I think Corruption might be a little on the nose. I do think Kratos, I can't pronounce the name 23. It's kind of hitting hitting the nail on the head. That's the word. That's the saying I'm looking for. So I do feel like that. It is a bit obvious, like for her to join that team right now. But they are in desperate need of some points, and she would fit right in. But also, I feel like if she is going to take on that heelish side, then it would be a little out of character for a face faction, if that makes sense. Okay. But I could see her. Honestly, I could see her in either. So who knows?
I kind of feel like usual suspects are a face faction, but I almost feel like they could be a tweener faction and make their.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, they really could. I think they're.
You got Janine. I mean, it seems like they could. Stan Levine can play. I think Stan Levine can play a heel.
Oh, I think he could.
Just play. Can managers draft themselves?
I think that could happen. I actually was like thinking like that would be a big form of chaos. Yeah, she has 4 people. He has 4 spots.
4 spots. Mm-hmm.
And he decides, you know what? It's StreamYards. I can play with StreamYards. I'll throw myself in the tournament. Just like to throw himself in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he will because I know he's a busy guy, but it's got to be tempting for him. I need some points. I'll just put myself in for a little while, then I'll just retire again and drop a slot. So
I'm not trying to get a championship belt this time around, so it's a little bit different.
Jen did say she was talking to someone and advising them to trade up their Star Wars player to get Molly. So maybe that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Got rid of Laura?
No. Jen talking to somebody.
Yeah, but didn't say where. But we're talking about corruption. But
right.
Who else?
It's probably suspects because they traded Knapsack away.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she was talking to Sam about.
I saw that as more of like a direct trade. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, trade up the Star Wars player for Molly to get Molly. I think that's what that meant. But yeah, it's probably not going to happen. I'm kind of
yeah. We can dream though, Chris. We can dream. Let us dream.
I agree. Yes, I know. We know. Rachel's not coming back either. We know, but it's interesting. So yeah, that's where we are. We have 4. We have the rock stars. No, we have Swag and Suspects not having a defined Star Wars player, and we have Rockstars Merc Exchange and Swag needing IG players possibly. So then we have our free agent list.
Yep.
Do you have the free agent list, Alex? Did you have that up
I
there?
don't have it on hand. No, I don't have access to it.
I will say that Christian has. You got to read the tea leaves of Christian, and if he's touting somebody, usually that's the people who tend to go.
Yeah, it's true.
We already talked about Molly Damon, but he touted. I'm reading the post of his. He touted Frank Moran, Keaton Markey, Sean Gerber, Molly, Sabina Graves.
Oh yeah.
Jonathan Harris, Simon Thompson, Michael Young, and let's get this out of the way. Let's get this one out of the way. Sabrina Ramirez. She is the most talked about free agent. She's made her decision, but I kind of find it interesting to me. I love Sabrina. I think she's awesome. She's like one of my favorite personalities involved in this.
I love her.
I don't know about her knowledge. I don't know much about her knowledge. I remember some people have told me that her knowledge has been exposed on some streams she's done recently. I don't know if that's the case. But is she worth all the hype? There's a lot of hype around her.
There's a lot of hype.
I feel bad for her a little bit because of the hype. If she were to lose, like right out the gate,
So it's just
that would suck, especially for competitors that have tons of hype. Away.
So I feel bad for her, but I don't know. She's made her decision. Obviously, a lot of people have said Swag because of Ashley Winston. Yeah. A lot of people have said potentially the Den because of her tag with Goddard, which I can see as well. I don't know. I don't know where she goes. If I had to pick one, I'd have to say Swag.
That's where I'd put her if I could pick.
Do you have to? Is there an order to picking at all, or it's just like first come first serve kind of situation right now?
This isn't really a draft. Everybody keeps talking draft, but draft basically means I pick you next team. Yeah. It's free agency, which basically means 3 teams could go to Sabrina and go, why don't you come with us? Why don't you come with us? And Sabrina gets to go, I want to go with you. She gets to choose which one she goes to. If they
offered. Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's just interesting to see where she wants to go. Who can offer her what?
I say Quirky Mercs.
You said the Quirky Mercs. That's a good potential thing.
I feel like if she really jumped into Schmodown and she's talked about how much she loves it, and she's studying like actively for the first time, especially in the past several months. Although she's always considered herself a cinephile, but hasn't been actively studying. I say Quirky Mercs because she can really learn a lot from some of these competitors. If she could be under the guidance of a Bibiani or have Haley Fouch and Brendan help her out. I mean, those are solid competitors to kind of help work your way into Schmodown as a rookie competitor. Because it can be really, really daunting going versus like someone like Corruption. I can't picture that. I just picture her. She's such a chill girl, you know. I can't picture her, but that can change. You never know. But Swag, you know, she's already, you know, part with RB3 and everything, and you know, and they're all, you know, like really cool people. I wouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, like I don't feel like the Swag has the same group of I don't like to say higher caliber of competitors as Quirky Mercs, but I feel like Quirky Mercs has definitely more to offer in terms of potential mentorship.
Yeah.
And training, long-term training. So it depends on what her goals are.
Is she here to win, or is she here to be friends and hang out?
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? I don't want to say that dismissively, as in like, if she goes to Swag or goes to Den because of her friendships, doesn't mean that she doesn't have a commitment to win. That doesn't necessarily mean that. I don't want to say that. Like I said, I don't want to say that and say that's the only reason she's going. But there is that point to bring out. Does she want to win? Or does she want to hang out with friends? We don't know. We don't know how committed she is to it. I mean, she loves being around the person. She loves being around the Schmodown and the space, obviously. She wants to prove herself. She says she wants to play. She's excited. I think she's got to choose what's best for her. Is Goddard someone who can help her with that? Or is someone like Bibiani and Meyer that somebody can help her with that? Or is Sam Levine and Rachel Cushing someone who could help her with that?
That's true.
Suspects have 4 spots open. That I think Suspects is an under...
yeah, you're right. Suspects or Quirky Mercs. I feel like those are two, especially now with Ethan on board with Suspects. I feel like if she wants to be a serious competitor, really dive into it.
Right.
Those two would be the ones right now.
Right.
Like, I mean, Drip. I mean, they're an amazing team. They're amazing faction. Just, you know, your friends or you want a belt.
But
you put yourself in a belt in a season or two. I mean, very different situation.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to say, despite my saying the Suspects are my under the radar pick, I do think she ends up. I think she's going to go with the Den. That's my pick. That's what I think. But
I could see that. I really could.
And you're saying the Mercs, Al. You're going to stick with your Mercs pick.
I'm tied between Mercs and Usual Suspects. I
say Swag.
I forgot that. I kept forgetting that they have like 4 spots available, so I really can go between those two. And I think she's a little more serious than she kind of leads on.
Fair enough. Okay. Anybody else in that list of names that Christian touted that stick out to you for any reason? I'll read again real quick. Got Frank Moran, Keaton Markey, Sean Gerber, Sabrina Graves, David Moore, Jonathan Harris, Simon Thompson, Michael Young. Obviously, Jonathan Harris and Simon Thompson. Although actually, Jonathan Harris probably has the most experience out of those names. Although he never really proved himself in that. Lon has said that Jonathan is better than he has shown, and that he was he did that whole stuff to his character a little too much, and it kind of hurt him as far as the trivia went. Which could be.
I could see him joining a faction and maybe rework his character just like Lon has, because they can't be the brothers professors anymore. So what's his new character going to be? Maybe if he focuses less on that and can focus more on the gameplay. So I could definitely see him getting picked up.
I should say that.
I had to say the Cinefit Addict.
He wasn't on the list that Christian touted, but Christian did tweet them out. Do you guys see those videos? All those videos? You haven't seen those videos that they produced? Mwah.
Oh my god, gold! And there's like little things for each and every one of them. That's our RMB, because RMB doesn't deserve them. RB3, not RB3. RMB, you're a cool dude. Love you.
Classic.
But you attacked the army, so
you don't deserve the beautiful faces.
The list, Robert knows it too. Yes, Robert. The list was not my list. It was the list of the people that Christian had said. It was like a post that Christian made. I just took the names from that. That's all. You're on my list. I want you to play, and I was going to get to you afterwards. You just jumped the gun.
We're getting to you, my man.
And so Jonathan Harris is definitely a player who could be going. I don't know. The name that sticks out to me, for somebody who needs an IG player, I don't know necessarily, but Sean Gerber is a guy who last year killed in the MCU match.
That's
He
true.
knows MCU like the back of his hand. Back of his hand. Does somebody take a shot at him and say, "Oh, when you're an IG player, let's throw him in there and see what he can do"? I don't know what else he knows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know really about IG, but I think Sean Gerber.
Jarvie.
Hey, Jarvie, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, man.
I love you. Well, see you in a little bit, Rich. So that's the name that throws out at me. I mean, Frank Moran did pretty good in the free for all he was in. He did pretty well a couple of years ago. He was one of the first players in the free for all. He lasted quite a bit. I mean, not like overly much, but he did a pretty good job. So he's a name somebody could be touting. I don't know. Interesting to see. Sabina Graves had some success on teams. I don't know. But I don't know. David Moore.
It's cute. No, I loved her. I love her personality. She's amazing.
Yes.
But her knowledge isn't there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who? Keaton?
Sabina.
Sabina Graves. Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember her a single win involving her. And from what I remember in teams, she didn't really contribute much knowledge-wise. I mean, she only got like a few points total out of the teams match.
Well,
and it was a long time ago, given that.
Yeah, she was in Superhero News with Sean Gerber, and she also was in the match. She was with Ethan Irwin for a bit.
Yeah.
Her team record was 1-3, and they win. They only box office breakdown. Okay, so they haven't played anybody.
There's a lot of competitors with better backgrounds. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know much about her, to be honest with you, but a
lot of potential to do better, though. Yeah.
Yes, that's the list we're talking about. Dan, that's the list we're talking about. All those names. So those are the ones I'm pulling from. Oh, any names that you saw on the list that really? Let's throw it out there. Why not? Kevin Smith, is he coming to Showdown or not?
I want him to. If he or Mark Bernardin came back, I maybe have a chance of getting my dad to watch Showdown with me because he's not very interested, but those are like the two people on the planet he respects more than anyone else. Every day he's like, "Did you watch the show? Did you hear them talk about this?" I'm like, "I can't keep up with everybody's streams right now, Dad." But if either of them came back into the Showdown, I think I could get him to watch.
I love that. Yeah, I agree. Nope, not on.
We can dream though.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Anything else, guys?
I think we probably covered that pretty good. I'm just interested to see what happens. I think they're going to be in for some surprises. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Should be interesting. We got tomorrow, right? Tomorrow during the I have a short SEN live, and they're at 11:30 to have the free agency update. And Christian's touting that everybody's making moves, and that's good. So I'm excited about that.
I'm excited too. It's going to be great. Yeah. All right. Anything else we need to cover in news, or are you ready to talk about Called in the Network?
Yeah, I think that's it. I do want to ask real quickly: when is the exact deadline, or was it already done and everything is just the deadline for any possible?
I think the deadline is passed now, I believe.
Yeah. So any add-ons and everything just hasn't been announced.
It's not announced yet. It's happened.
Okay. Just want to make sure, confirm everything.
He can only trade after now at this point.
Yeah.
Drop anybody else. I don't think you can pick up anybody else. You got to trade them at this point.
Cool. All right. Well, here we go with Call to the Network, where we talk about all the amazing shows we have upcoming this week on Call to Action, starting with tomorrow. Paul, what's happening tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Chill to Action, we do have Ace Cabrera on, and my lovely co-host, my work wifey, Danielle Ramirez, is going to be talking Spanish with him probably the whole time, and I'll be sitting there just kind of nodding my head because I won't understand a word that's going on. But we'll ask him about his possible involvement in the Star Wars League, see what he'll divulge to us, and go from there. But it should be a fun match. I'm very excited to talk to Ace. He's a really good guy. I love talking Star Wars, so anytime I can talk Star Wars, I'm good to go.
Very awesome. And then 2 days later, Wednesday, Alex, what's happening on Schmobates?
Schmobates are actually having a Action Army Civil War match. So it's going to be a lot, really, really fun. I believe, Kelsey, you're going to be my co-host. I wasn't able to have Ghai or Bateman on for this time around, unfortunately. Schedules did not work out. But I'm actually going to having on Dani Ramirez and fellow Action Army General Brandon Buckingham as the debaters on a Wednesday evening. And so it's going to be starting at 9:30, and they're going to argue a bunch of questions regarding team action.
Real quick, I just want to cut in on something real quick. I just got a message. There's 9 players in the Star Wars tourney. That's what's going to happen. 9 players in the Star Wars tourney. 1 is going to be a play-in. That's the official news from my source. So there we've confirmed it. That's a scoop, I guess, maybe. So we'll go.
Scoop. Awesome. I am so excited for that Schmobates. I'm going to try to be as impartial as possible, but come on, Danielle. I'm glad I don't have to vote.
Yeah, it's going to be a very emotional debate for sure. It will be shed.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we have our reactions and things that you can find on our channel, usually within an hour or two, hopefully, of when the match drops. We try. We'll see when we can get it come out. And then I'm not sure about AAA or Call of the Fan links, but we will post on social media, let you know when those are happening, if they're happening this week. And then, of course, we'll see you next Sunday for Call to Action Live, where we will recap everything that happened this week. And I think we're going to have a lot to talk about because we're going to get to talk about all the decisions that are made tomorrow. So it's going to be a fun episode.
I'm gonna pitch an audible here on air. You guys might not like me for it, but let's see what I'm gonna do. We have a show tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Is there potential? Maybe we'll do a post special. Maybe do a call live special tomorrow, post draft kind of thing before.
Yeah.
Maybe
I would love it.
I'm down.
So
I'm
free all the time nowadays.
Not open. We might decide to have a special.
I have no plans. I have no life.
I might have work the next day, but what's more important, sleep or talking about this? It's clearly talking about
a bag of Cheetos a day. So. That is my current diet. MSG. A lot of MSG.
A lot of Madison Square Garden for Alice. All right.
All right. And then for our final thing, we have questions from the chat. Anything you want to ask us, Schmodown related or not. Streamlabs and Super Chats do get priority, but if we do see things pop up, we'll try to click on them as well. So send in your questions. Because I have answers.
While we're waiting for that, we might as well pitch anything else we want to pitch. I do have something I want to pitch that's not call to action related. If I could real quick. I will. Yes. Party J just threw it in there. Yes, 40 minutes from now. 40 minutes. I'm going to actually have hard out in 8 minutes myself because I got to get ready for that. Me and my brother, Richard Eric Jarvie, on the Action Industries YouTube channel, have fellow Action Army member Matt Kearns and also Mark Yodi Riley are going to be on our live stream where we are ranking the live action Superman franchise. So please take a look at that if you can. That'd be a lot of fun, I think. I'm hoping to really have a lot of fun talking to Riley and yes. So thank you for that. And also, I will pitch now when we can pitch our own channels. I have PLD projects. You can go over there. I'm putting up some new content weekly on that as well. And you guys should talk about where Ladies' Night is going.
Yes. So I have a YouTube channel. If you search my name, Kelsey Kirkland, and click on my face, and if you want to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. But Danielle, Alex, and I have decided that since Ladies' Night is very rarely Schmodown related, we are going to move it to our personal channel. So we will probably do a rotation of when we do Ladies' Nights.
Danny, I don't know.
Between me and Danielle's channels. So we will post everywhere. Hopefully you guys can see the notifications. It'll be the same kind of shows, same stuff, just we're trying to grow our own brands a little bit, and we're hoping this is maybe a way to do that. So, that'll be good.
Cheese, it's on camera.
And we'll just talk about cheese for hours.
I just want to, if you're not familiar with what Ladies' Night is when we just chat whatever you want. And last night we actually had a little MCU/DCEU themed episode, and we played MASH with DCEU characters. Huh?
Marvel. I got to marry Killmonger. I was pretty happy about it.
You're gonna live in a shack. You are gonna marry Killmonger in the Batcave. Your weapon of choice was going to be the Harlequin bat. I assume that's why I meant Harlequin bat.
Yes.
We're going to have the Spider Pig as your animal sidekick. You're going to be a secret SHIELD agent. That was going to be your job. Your best friend was going to be Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. You're going to be your power would be able to time travel, and you were going to have the Power Stone. So that's the future of Kelsey.
That's my future, and it looks bright.
World. Yeah. And Danny, she also similarly was actually going to be. She had orange, not the green, but she was going to live in a mansion, get married to Valkyrie, live on a booby trap situation.
Booby trap. It's the Bride in Birds of Prey, the place where they have the fight scene in Birds of Prey.
I forgot about that. Oh, great. Yeah. That'd be fun. That is going to be Loki's scepter. Also, Spider Pig. Her job was actually going to be the Rainbow Bridge Guardian from over in Asgard.
Bifrost. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the Bifrost. Power Stone, Time Travel, and Doctor Strange as their best friend.
Fair enough. I will say, yes, Brandon, you did miss the show. You missed us posting your video, Brandon.
Yeah.
You're in the league down, but we love you, brother. Excited about that. So, any questions we got? Or I got.
We do have a Streamlabs I see pop up. It is from Troll2K5. I wonder who that is.
Oh.
I'm assuming it's Thrawn. And it says, props for professional growth. Thank you. We're trying.
Thank you.
Kelsey is amazing. So we're going to do the channels on, we're going to be swapping in between Kelsey's channel, but also Danielle's channel as well. So it's going to be going to and from there. So you should definitely subscribe to both to stay up to date on all those lady nights.
Yep.
And also, I would like to see, I'll throw this out there really quickly. I didn't talk about it earlier. I want to see Brandon Hanna versus Saul in the IG tourney. The Den versus the Burning.
Saul needs to prove his MSG before being able to go against
That's going to be my catchphrase. I love it now. So you should go with that. So.
He needs to prove his MSG before being able to go up against Brandon, who is a future IG champion. I feel like to me that's inevitable. It's gonna happen. It's a matter of time. And Saul, who are you, Saul? What a weirdo! What a weenie! Actually, I love you, Saul. You're a cool guy, and your beard is majestic.
All right. Anything else?
We have some questions in the chat.
Okay.
Let's see. It says, could Burnett's strategy win him Manager of the Year since he's been underrated so far?
Absolutely. I think if he keeps going and wins out and wins the year, how could he not be?
If it pays off for him, then absolutely. If it doesn't, then it's just gonna look like insane madness, and he will not do nothing. But I think he's made some solid choices, and so
there's a fine line between insanity and genius, and
it's right. It's very fine. They overlap quite a bit.
He's taking the most risks. Especially compared to other managers. Like, to me, Finstock is doing like nothing right now, but he did drop BC. Keep saying his last
name. Ben Campbell.
Yes, that's him. I feel awful. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I'm very surprised he dropped him. So that happened, but he hasn't really done much. Finstock hasn't really done much as a manager from what we've seen so far. Yeah, I mean, he really needed to, and I understand that. You know, he hasn't really. Everyone else is playing catch up to him, but as a result, all these other managers are really kind of taking a lot of attention from him as a result.
Partially, but also you got to think that that's one thing. Like when you're on top, you're a little slack. He doesn't have to do much because he's already been the manager of the year. He's the reigning manager in the year. So.
Exactly. Totally. And as a result, a lot of these other managers are going to be taking a lot of attention. They're going to be taking a lot more wins and everything in order to play catch up. Right. But, you know, as a result, you know, he has no real reason to be risky and try new things and experiment, you know, with strategies and, you know, gating and losing competitors or anything. So.
Okay.
How much managerial strategy is actually doing, though? That's the thing.
He hasn't been there very much. That's part of it too. But he is making moves. He's making trades and making.
Is he moves? What trades has he make?
He is going to. That's what Ben was saying, that he was making trades.
Yeah.
Or at least he's offering trades. We'll see how that goes down.
Of course.
All right. This is a fun question. Best TV or movie mom, and happy Mother's Day to all you moms. Thank you.
Best TV or movie mom.
this might be because I watched it yesterday, but I was binging that 70s show, and Kitty Foreman is one of my favorite TV moms. I love her so much. So I'm going to say Kitty Foreman.
Familiar. Oh, wait, from that 70 show, you said?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love Kitty.
Go with Katie Seagal from Married with Children.
Ah, yes. Great choice.
Probably one of my favorite mother-daughter movies is Joy Luck Club.
Mm-hmm.
That's especially being growing up in an Asian household. I feel like everyone and their mom knows this about me. No pun intended, I promise. But that movie is all about mother-daughter relationships through the good and the bad, and
Right.
how it in some ways turn into our moms to a certain extent, for sure. I feel like, some cases can be or is inevitable, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But also, Kate is favorite Schmodown mom probably right now.
Oh yeah.
Favorite Schmo mom.
Out of all,
Is there any other moms in like
Brienne?
active?
No, Brienne Chan. I mean,
She's not really. She's involved, but she's not like active. I mean, but also fellow Schmodown mom. Yeah.
and a lot of fur mommies too. A lot of fur mommies out there.
Catelyn. Tully Stark.
Great
Mom.
Yeah.
Great mom.
And here's another question that is along the same.
Brandon's on the offensive. I love it. I love when Brandon can go all in because that's my favorite Brandon Hannah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Speaking of which, he had a question in here too. Where did it go? Oh, there it is.
Way.
It's your question.
It's like the Wicked Witch of the West. Saul just appears when you at random points in smoke.
It's probably just hides underneath. I mean, I got to be honest, Brandon. I don't want to equate you to this all, but you both tend to like all of a sudden just appear out of nowhere when people talk about you. So they have some kind of similar magic powers there.
It's true.
Someone just messages and says, "Hey, they're talking about you." Huh?
Go.
All right, another mother's question. Speaking of Mother's Day, who is the worst mom in film? Mine is Faye Dunaway as Joan Crawford and Mommy Dearest. Oh, I'm trying to think.
Monique from Precious.
That's a good choice.
I have a least favorite. I can't think of anybody.
I know, I'm trying to think of. There are some terrible moms out there. On film.
In history.
In history too.
Horrible moms in history.
Tiger
Mom.
Mrs. Voorhees. There you go. Jason Voorhees' mom.
Or is she the best mother because she is avenging her poor son that died for no reason?
Cersei Lannister.
I would argue that, Danielle.
She loves her kids.
That's like her only redeeming quality. She's not a great mom. I don't know. The worst mom.
The mom in Nell. Have you ever seen Nell? What happened? Like they lock her away and so she can't speak English and things like that. No one's seen that movie? Okay, well.
Oh, I remember there was something like that only for love it, girl. I haven't read any of the books. So I could only speak about on behalf of the show, not the books. So I would love to hear your Daniel rant. I would love it. I love your Game of Thrones rants. I'm here for them.
I got the timer, Danny. I got the timer. So we'll put it up. So, all right.
Okay. Here's another question. Does anyone think Burnett will lean into the brand knowing Christian hates it? Sounds like me.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's not.
I feel like Christian will put that down very fast.
On that pretty quickly.
I'm not going to say it wasn't suggested, but I don't think it's going to go.
If Pat does make it to a live event, he probably will get that chanted pretty loudly.
Yeah, you will.
So. All right, anything else?
Let's see.
Let me just double check on Streamlabs real quick.
Okay.
Make sure we haven't missed anything. And we're good to go.
I think we got a lot of questions from various people, so I think we are good. So thank you so much for joining us.
Sorry, Peggy. That sucks. That does suck. Damn it.
Oh.
Peggy, I may be DMing you later because I just got a shirt and I thought of you right away. So
We got a question real quick from Peggy.
Okay.
Down here at the bottom. Says, what division is the Schmodown missing? Not category, division.
Ooh.
Hmm.
A lot of people argue the MCU, but
Yeah.
That was I had competitors argue that in Schmobates, actually, what division should be added to Schmodown leagues, and inspired by like Star Wars having its own league. Someone argued in favor of Disney films.
Disney could be fun division. I could see that.
Oh wait, no, maybe it was Disney. Another one was MCU.
MCU
films. The other one was a Wizarding World.
I don't know.
Just because but I feel like Wizarding World's a little limiting though. But honestly, Disney, Pixar, or just animated movies in general.
That'd be good. I like that.
Okay, well, I guess we'll do a couple quick questions real quick. Favorite TV show finale? Paul, you could just Clone Wars.
Yes, both of them. Clone Wars was phenomenal. I cried at Clone Wars. That's true. But Clone Wars finale was really, really good too. Oh, I loved it. I'll go Clone Wars for now though, because it is the epic finale that I've been waiting for a while. Whereas the Westworld's going to keep going. So.
I loved how Breaking Bad ended. I probably have other options, but
I love that. Sorry. I love you some Police Academy.
All right. And was there any quick
Big Mouth.
Oh, and one more question for Paul.
The Americans.
The Americans. I've heard good things about the show. I haven't watched it.
So good.
Okay.
The ending.
What is that? All right. So best Ed Harris movie turned from best versus
wonderful.
Favorite. Those are two different things. Best, I'd probably say, is Pollock. I would think I'd have to say Pollock. It was his labor of love. He directed and starred in it. It's the biopsy of Jackson Pollock that he did. It's phenomenal. It's really, really good. It's really strong. That's what I'll go with. I think. But we're gonna find out because I'm doing the hair stunts on the PLD projects.
That's gonna be fun.
Find out which is the best one. Oh, that's a hot take.
Fight you.
I hate that finale.
So hard.
That's a hot take.
I do think the Dexter one's worse, but barely.
Ted is not a character that does well over time. He's a horrible character. He's a horrible person. But Robin deserves better.
All right.
All right. Well, I think we need to call it a night. PLD needs to get out of here so he can go do some amazing things on his own on Action Industries channel. Called Action, Class Action. Go to it right after here, or in 25 minutes.
Yes, 25 minutes. So
25 minutes.
Real quick. So take care, everybody. I love you guys very much. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I will see you guys tomorrow on maybe the Call Action Live special. We'll have to see, but definitely on Chill. So I will see you later on. Thanks, guys.
Right.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, have a good one.
And thank you so much for joining us. Alex, where can people find you online?
On Twitter, here, _Alex Mack. That'd be cool if you give me a follow, because I'll probably follow you because I know everyone in this chat. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah.
It is a mouthful.
Yeah. But yeah, please do that, and please hang out with us for the Action Army Civil. Ooh,
what?
Richard, Jarvie, DM me, my dude. DM me, please DM me. Please DM me later. I have something to propose with you. Please do it.
Ooh, can't wait to hear about that. All right, and you can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram. I also run the Call to Action Podcast Instagram, so you can interact with me there. TeePublic, we've got merch. We have masks. So if you would like a Call to Action mask, you can definitely order one from TeePublic right now. And also, I do my own YouTube channel. So if you search Kelsey Kirkland and click on my face, and please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers so that I can get a custom URL so it's easier to plug, so I'm not having to tell you to click on my face. So that's the goal. So if you guys haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it. Ladies' Nights will be showing up on there occasionally. So if you want to watch Ladies' Night, please subscribe to mine and Danielle's channel. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow on Chill.
Bye.
Bye.